Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Hey, it's Jason, and I wanted to do a quick video as I fidget with this bracelet in front of me. It's probably not going to be a quick video. I don't know who I'm kidding. So welcome back. Thank you all so much for being at my last live video. You really made my day. The reason why I'm going camera down is because I have so much to show you, and this is a continuation from the last video of the flea market hauls of what I got at the flea market. And there's a vase sitting over here, where a Murano bowl. And this Bakelite bracelet, why I started with this is I put this together years ago out of old random dot Bakelite chips, and I never finished it, so I wanted to put little charms off of the hole there. So it's on sterling silver, and I soldered it together, and I loved the noise that it made. And that's Bakelite. And those chips back in the day were between $40 and $50 a piece, and now these are down to about $20 a piece. But if you find the random dot little chips with the random dot Bakelite, it makes a crazy great bracelet and sometimes a really great necklace. And I'll bring some of the necklaces on that I made, but I wanted to show you that for Bakelite. And I'm going to do a whole separate video on Bakelite very, very soon. As over here, this I got in, and this was from the flea market the day that I went, and Jeremy was so excited about this. Look how great this is for a Murano art glass bowl from the 1950s. Kind of asymmetrical shape, so completely hand constructed, and then this controlled bubble radiating from the inside of the bowl. And Murano was very well known for that, but look at how beautiful that deep twist is in that glass. And I'm usually not a fan of yellow or amber glass, but this one made total sense. This one was incredible for its form and its craft. And always look for a sheared and polished bottom. So that's sheared and then polished over by an artisan. And then you see the natural wear on the surface there to make it almost like a matte finish. So you know that's been around since the 1950s, or maybe even to the 1960s. So that's Murano art glass, and that was only $5. I think retail on this, I could probably still get around $50 for a bowl this size. Now, if it had millefiori, or the little flowers, or some of the trapped silver foil, that could drive the price up to about $85 or $95. Sometimes even slightly more, maybe around $100. But I really loved it, and it was in great condition. So for $5, I said, yes, let me get that back in the bag. And again, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And like I said before, if you could just do me that favor and make sure you hit the like, the little thumbs up in the corner, hit the like. And then also, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, because that's the way we continue to grow our channels here on YouTube. People have asked me what tools I use, and this is just an old eye loop. I believe that it's a 10 or 20 op. I want to say it's a 10 op. It's been with me so long, but you put this part inside of your eye so your hands are free, and then you bring the item up to the loop. So leave it fixed in place. If you have just a regular loop, I don't have one. And loop is spelled, instead of L-O-O-P, it's L-O-U-P-E. That's the way loop is spelled. You can get them anywhere online, but this is an old school one, and it's hard plastic. And basically, I leave it fixed in place, like I put this little cup inside of my eye, and I just kind of hold it in place with my cheek, and then I bring the item up to the loop to get it in focus. So don't keep moving the loop, because that makes you dizzy. So leave the loop fixed in place, and then bring the item up to you so that you can get a clear view of it. So this would be, again, near your eye, and then bring the item towards you. So don't keep moving this up and down. Leave the loop fixed in place and bring the item towards you to get it in focus. That's the best way to do it. And you always ask me about my bracelets. Of course, you've seen this one a million times now. Can't take it off because I fixed it in place. This one is a modernist bracelet that's very unusual. I will take that off for you. It's sterling silver and coral and 14 karat gold. So these studs are 14 karat. There's 3 of them. And then what they did is the artisan cut a sliver of metal out of the center of the cuff, and then use that to be this curly Q, this dramatic scrolled curly Q that then it kind of encapsulates this other bypass design and then inset with coral beads. It is unsigned. It is the hand of a master craftsperson. So that's mid-century modern at its best. Again, I paid $30 for this because it wasn't signed sterling, and they thought that it was, but they weren't sure. They didn't test it. I've had this for about 12 years. I think, yeah, I've had this one for 12 years, and I have never worn it until today, but I loved its sculptural quality. I would imagine that this would sell, if I could attribute it to a famous artist, it's gonna surpass this value, but just as a modernist cuff bracelet, it would be around $385 to around $450. Now, if it was someone famous or more famous, that would drive the price, to several thousand. So there's that. A diamond pave ring, and this is beautiful. It's in 18 karat gold, and I think it's like 8 carats. I think it is 9 carats of diamonds, invisibly set, and I love the inside of this. Look at the craft and the skill that took to put that together. And then underneath, where the stones are invisibly set, there are channels where those diamonds are actually inlaid. And I love this. This reminded me of like the snow that we used to see when our TV would go out when we were little kids. It just reminded me of that kind of static, I don't know how else to explain it, but like that static white, the white noise that we would see on our TV as a kid. And it is very sculptural and, of course, very dirty, but I loved that very much. And then my other diamond that I redesigned years ago that I love very much. And then my bracelet that I made in 1999, 2000, and it's just a very simple cuff. I'm known to overwork things and also get very distracted, so there I go, getting distracted. While you're here, this is a next video, and this tote is so dirty, but this is a next video. It's on ephemera. As I talk around the box, so forgive me for the bad audio today, but there's ephemera, there's trade cards, postcards, old photographs, other, trade cards, postcards. This is really cool. This was an old seed packet from probably the turn of the century. And look at that plant for an inside plant in a Victorian home. So dramatic, so beautiful. And then, of course, I always love the dog things. So any dog card, these are all Victorian. And then a die cut. I mean, I'll go into a whole separate video with this. And then there's daguerreotype cases. So there's old photographs in these. And then a pin cushion, some buttons. This was like a catch-all. Then these were all die cuts and Valentines. Some Victorian beadwork in the bottom. But this was kind of a catch-all. And we'll get into this in a future video. But I wanted to show you that I don't just stop at jewelry when I go out and buy. And I have done that since I've started this whole process, almost 30 years ago. Let's get this cleaned up a little bit. And again, thank you so much for joining me. I think this is going to air on Sunday. And if it does, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We love you. We love all the mothers out there who work so hard and love their families so much. So thank you for being fantastic mothers. We really appreciate all of you. Now I'm going to scoot this out of the way, make sure that my loop is somewhere that I can reach it. Let's put my bracelet over here. And this is the box that I wanted to do next, which is, again, it's, I go crazy because this is so full with stuff. And again, unsorted. I kind of took a peek really quick, but it's really dirty stuff. So I'm just going to say it kind of maybe once or twice. Please forgive the fact that this is so dirty, but there are singles, there are things that need stones. We'll start with these 3 bags. Let me scoot this. Well, you know what? I guess I can just, like I did the last time, let's take out some stuff that we want to talk about. Again, I don't really like doing haul videos, but I know a lot of you enjoy them very much. And I would like to give you content that you enjoy. So we're going to stop at, well, all right, we're going to stop at that, I think. Yeah, we'll stop at that. We'll talk about this first because it just fell out of the box. Let's scoot all this out of the way. All right, there we go, cleaning up. And then this is a Juliana bracelet, and it's by D&E. And I'll get into another video on that, like I said, very soon. I sectioned out a lot of my Juliana jewelry. Now this is missing a link. So if you find, lint. If you find one of these and it's this short, meaning if it's only got this many links, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this one's actually, I believe, missing 2 rather than just 1. I think this is missing 2, but look how short that is for a bracelet. It is missing, and then you can see this is not a normal. This is wrong. So Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to find someone with a size 4-inch wrist. I mean, that's only 4 inches, so it's tiny. This would have to be used for its gemstone, or not its gemstones, its glass stones and its cabochons. So I'll set that aside. But I did see that in the stuff and I thought, oh, that's great. Oh, and let me put it back in here. And then just a rhinestone brooch. Well done. I'm not going to knock any of these things, but well done. I see a lot of this. I see at least 200 to 300 a week come across my desk at the auction facility. So this isn't something we normally don't see. Beautifully done prong set. So look for prong set rhinestones and look for high quality Aurora Borealis. Red is a desirable color because red is more expensive to produce. And then this riveted construction, very reminiscent of Judy Lee. Is it a Judy Lee? I don't think so. Could it be? It absolutely could be. But Judy Lee was most responsible for that riveted back. At least that's what I have been accustomed to over the last 28 years. So we'll throw that back in its bag. And on the brooch, I mean, I would sell that for 20 or 25. Someone else might sell it for 45 or 50, and that's their choice. I don't want to really get into why I price my things the way I do, but I do. I think these, I'm not going to dump, oh wait, I should probably dump these out. Oh, yeah, I thought these were all single earrings, and they're not. So please forgive the mess. And we'll just dump this out, and I wish I could zoom in for you, but that's as close as I'm going to get you. And again, I'm not going to make a comment. Oh, these are just rhinestone clip earrings, so don't think I'm putting 18 karat gold and diamonds away and not telling you. I'm not. These are faux pearl and broken, so that's just for parts. I don't throw anything away. That's the way I do things. These are very cool. Kind of, 1990s. Oh, they are signed. And here I go. Nope, they're not signed. Yeah, nope, they're not signed. That's just a pattern on the center there. So don't be confused and think that's a signature because it's not. Those are like $3. A pearl pin looks like Trifari, but it's not. It's probably Listener. Again, oh, these are kind of cool. These might be art. Let's see here. Slow down, Jason, slow down. I always tell everybody else to settle down. So I need to heed my own advice sometimes and settle down. These are very cool 1960s and kind of like a pagoda. And then these good luck Asian themed charms. It's very cool. Those are very neat. And I think they're complete. Let me make sure that they have all their dangles. They do. We're in luck. So, oops, I had that one upside down. So, yeah, they have all their drops. So I would say on those, probably around $15 for the pair of those. And I probably only paid, a couple bucks for some of this stuff. And this is just a nothing. I don't mean a nothing, but basically I do. And this, I need to, where's my loop at? And that's why I wanted this out this time. So, no, just 925. So this is sterling. Looked really good. Sterling and cubic zirconia. And I know those are cubic for sure. It's wrong to assume, but like I said, I've been around it long enough that I can tell you those are not zircon, like out of the ground zircon, those are cubic zirconia. But a beautiful ring, very believable. Sterling band, another sterling ring, and this is actually really beautiful. I'm glad I cracked this bag open and slowed down a little bit because you all want to see the treasure hunt. You all want to see the process that I go through. And what I do is once I get these things sorted better, this one's missing stones. This one's missing stones. The crown pins are always beautiful, but missing stones. So it just needs to be fixed and sold. And look at how dirty this table is getting. My. Crumbs everywhere. It's like, I don't know, did Cookie Monster pack up this stuff? It's like cookie crumbs on everything. See, here I go, going completely crazy. And it's only 13 minutes in. So that's sterling silver as well. Let's see. Yep, sterling on the inside. And I'll test these, but I can tell by solder seam. I just have a little advantage. Those are dolphins. And very well done, for a dolphin band ring. That's really attractive. This one is sterling as well. So I got lucky. I thought that these were costume. I thought that these were silver plated and nothings. And here we go. And I forgot that I have to bring these things up to you so that you can see them closer. And I regret that sometimes I forget. This is just costume and a nothing. That's well, it's not a nothing, but when I'm going through these things, I just flick through so quick and I say, yes, sell, no, donate. So we'll put that away. This is interesting, and I suspect, well, it's been in this bag forever. It's not coming out. It's stuck. Let's see here. Yep, there we go. Yeah, needs to be cleaned up, but that is 925, And I believe by these solder seams, it is sterling. It's not plated. But again, I'll check this one just to make sure because it is so contemporary. Great design. Really powerful design. Very directional. And then that's a natural pearl. And then I think a peridot. Yeah, a peridot in the top. Peridot cabochon. But I like that. I think that's very clean. I think it's very sleek. That says I'm late 1980, early 1990. Yeah, they're still producing things like this, but this one definitely has some age to it. And it just needs to be wiped down. That's all. It's just got some old sticker residue on it. I like that, actually. See how nice that... I mean, that's just nice. It's everyday wear. So, again, I would probably price this one at about $30, and someone else could price it at $50 or $60. But I don't hold out for potential money with my business. I like to sell things at a moderate rate. On eBay, I sometimes go a little bit more retail, but I don't get carried away. I know that this is not amber because there's no way a clamshell with a pearl and seaweed is going to be trapped in amber. It's just not going to happen. And then someone's going to come on YouTube and be like, look at this is genuine amber and it's got a clamshell in it, and Jason Adams was wrong. Well, I'm not wrong on this one. This one's acrylic, and it's not lucite. It's actually poured acrylic. And then those items are put into the acrylic to look like amber, and then a celluloid chain. And yes, there is some green on the chain. That's really easy to clean up. That's a simple thing. And I'll get into how to clean and how to restore things. I don't want to do it in every video because it gets to be a bit much. And then I get sidetracked, and then, I'm talking about that for 45 minutes and driving everyone out of their minds. Now, these are pretty interesting, and I did see these in the stuff, and he basically threw them in for free. I'll just dump out a little bit. There's 3 bags of these, and I was at first not really thrilled because they're brown, but then I realized they are slag glass. So these are, in fact, Czechoslovakian cabochons that are faceted. So each little cabochon has facets across the top in a slag glass, like a caramel glass. There is a hole on the back. So these could have been used on a button, or some sort of shank or wire went into that to set that into metal. But what I liked about these is I can create something out of these and make a brooch or rings or pendants, or use these as accent stones. And in my video on the ring that I made in my studio, the silversmithing ring that I made, if you haven't seen that video, please go over to it. You'll see in the thumbnail my tools laid out on my bench with like a gravel pit. So if you haven't seen that video, please go over to it, because again, that'll help my channel. But look at the facets on these. I could put these with the smoothness of the cabochon J-bows that we slumped down to make those glass cabochons. I hope this is making sense. And then I would just put one of these as an accent stone. But look how many I have. I have like probably, I don't know, each bag there's probably 150 in each bag, I would guess. But look at the color saturation on these and kind of the directionalness of that slag patterning. I think that that would make a beautiful, even like if I took 10 of them, I'm just thinking here, if I took 10 of them and lined them up on a bracelet like a channel, I could make like a pebble style bracelet. Like if these are handled more like pebbles or beach stones, if you will, as the design. But some of these are really interesting patterning on some of these. And they're in beautiful condition. But these are Czechoslovakian, and sometimes they're West German. So I got to be careful on these. There's no identification on the bags. I'm going to say that these are more Czechoslovakian. Again, some people may disagree, and that's okay. We agree to disagree sometimes. But in my experience, these were from the Czech Republic, and beautifully done, like I said. Sorry for being distracted, but now I'm inspired. So I'll put these back in their bag, and I hope that that was okay to share. Not exactly jewelry, but, it is what it is. It's in this collection, so I can't do anything about it. Let's see. We'll put these away. But yeah, there's 3 bags full. So I could make a whole line of costume jewelry. Yeah, it's going to be earth tone, and I'm not known for that. But yeah, step out of your comfort zone. I don't know. I've always stepped out of my comfort zone, and it's been the one thing that has kept my business going. These are old rhinestones, and look at this bag. It's like ready to decompose, but I'll pour these out a little bit. I'm sure you want to see these. I would get the feeling that you probably want to see these, and I don't blame you. But look at these stones. So there's tons of foil back, and there's different shapes. There's a little Pac-Man. That's really cool. But again, I think that these are, I would guess these are Czechoslovakian. gemstones, and these are very deco. Look at those red ones. They're ribbed and they're lozenge shape, like a rectangle, but they're domed. They're half round. I sure hope I'm in focus in this video. Sure hope the whole thing hasn't been out of focus. That would be tragic because I just don't have the time to re-record today. But there you go. Look at that, like a little clover and a bar. Ooh, this one's very interesting. So anytime you need an unusual rhinestone, I have literally, I don't know, I probably have 100,000 rhinestones, and that's no lie. You know what I'm gonna do? I'll just do a video on all the rhinestones I have someday. And it'll be like 18 hours, and no one will watch it. No, my devoted fans and my friends in YouTube will watch it. I know you will, because I just know it. I feel it. But look at those. Look how cool some of these rosettes are. And look at this one again. Oh, look at this one. I love this one. And that's glass. We see these in plastic, but no, that's glass. That is absolute glass. There's no way that that's plastic. I don't see any plastic. No, this is glass too. Look how cool that one is. What on earth, you know? When you talk about unusual rhinestones, I've got them, you know? If you're looking for an unusual, I have it. Ooh, another, ooh, this is really valuable. That's like the Trifari lava moon rock right there. Aurora Borealis finish. And that's like a Trifari style stone. Yeah, see, here's the thing. This bag of nothing, you might pass this at a flea market, or if it's $10 or $20, you might say, oh, I don't need it. No, because if you need one lava moon rock for a Trifari earring, this could make a $500 difference. You know, if this was off of a, if this replaced a rhinestone, I have stuff stuck on me. If this replaced a rhinestone on a Trifari necklace that's $500 or $600, you'd be happy that you bought this dirty bag of rhinestones. You'd be thrilled. But yeah, there's a ton more in there. Let's clean this up. Boy, what a messy video. It's okay. I know that you're all here because you love it. And I love doing this. 21 minutes in, and I have a heaping pile. So now I'm going to pour on some gas and get going. I need some coffee as well. I'm going to take a sip of coffee here in a minute. So we'll set that out of the side. I think this is a single amber earring. I don't know. I think there's another one somewhere. But look how gigantic this amber earring is. It is the biggest amber earring I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh, look. There is, let's see here. Oh, yeah. Okay. There, now I can see. I'm sorry. I was out of the frame for a second there. I freaked out. Because I'm peeking down at the camera. Look at that amber earring. Natural amber and really cool. As I get sidetracked again, I guess what I should do is stay 100% focused. But then, you know, it wouldn't be one of my videos. Let's clean up the table again. Get that out of the way. Look at this for sterling silver. Inlaid, and that is... I'm going to have to look closer, but I think that's tortoiseshell. And that's sad if it's tortoiseshell. That's just sad. But sterling silver, abalone, and sterling silver. But I don't know what I'll do with this. Oh, it is signed sterling there. Mexican silver. Let's make sure I can get the hallmark in. I think it's trying. There we go. Sterling silver, Mexico. And some people go crazy on trying to find these marks. And I'll save you some time and just tell you there's not very many... Well, this is going to sound wrong. There's not very many Mexican producers of this time period that really draw in huge money. And I'll tell you that that's not one of them. I'll just tell you that. But again, it's okay to research. You know, I'm not discouraging that. I shouldn't say it that way. I should just say there's so many that were unknown, but the craft on this is just not the best. I mean, it's beautiful or it's handsome, but it's just not the best. And this is very tourist, you know, go to Mexico and that's the style of things you bring home. The Mexican silversmiths that were historically important and are historically important, all of them are, because I'm a silversmith and I shouldn't, you know, pick on someone. That's not my point. But this is more... Okay, I'll show you side by side. So this is more the Mexican jewelry that is sought after, and I don't know who did this, but I would imagine, let me take a quick peek on the inside. I'd imagine it's probably a more known maker, Sterling, Mexico, 925 Tosco. That's all it says. So right on the inside, it doesn't even have an artist mark, but this is a well-known design. But see, like this says... You know, I guess I should clear it up. This says, I went to Mexico and brought this home. This says, I went to Mexico and thought outside the box. This is a forward-thinking person who was more after a designed piece from the Mexican craftsman, rather than just like a tourist piece. This is great. I'm not knocking this. This is, you know, handsome, well done, took a lot of time. You know, I'm not saying it's not great. You know, I don't want people to attack me and say, well, that was just wrong. Well, and this solder seam actually, you know, now I can show you, this solder seam is frozen in place because the Mexican silversmith, see how this is jointed and moves? This one should be jointed and moved. It's not, it's soldered in place because it's poorly crafted. I'll just call it what it is. It's poorly crafted. I'm not attacking it. I'm telling you the truth. I think you come here for the truth. I think you do. So that's just frozen in place, not well crafted. So that's, okay. So now it's side by side. Tourist trade, okay. Acceptable, okay. Avant-garde, great. Clean lines, asymmetrical, extremely well crafted, huge bracelet, very heavy, very thick walled, and that spring in there that says I am strong and extremely well made, and boy is it ever. And that little stay that they soldered in, see that little stay, like, so this doesn't go like way closed, but look at the craft on that. And this is a very famous design, and they did such thick metal that there's not a lot of dents on these raised domes. So there I go, kind of trying to explain the process. I would pass on this normally. That's just me. If this was out for sale, I would just pass on it. That's just me. That's my personal preference. And then this is what I would go for, because this is where, you know, the money and desirability is at. So I hope, like, for people just beginning, maybe you can see now, there, I did what I was supposed to do. Here's like tourist trade, okay. And then this is forward-thinking, fantastic, high design, Mexican silver that, you know, it's not the highest you can find, but this is like the I guess that would be the good, this is the better, and then I don't have a best out on the table, but there you go. So sterling silver and a beautiful clamper. I would say retail in this one would be around, because of how well made it is, I've seen less than great examples of this. I would say around 250. 250-ish, maybe 225, and even I would let this one go for 200. But if this was a notable maker and slightly better in craft, I would say that they could range between 500 and 800, depending on the maker, depending on who signed it. And this is unsigned, but still extremely well made. This is from the late 1940s. Let me look at the hallmark. No, I take that. Yeah, no, a late 1940s, early 1950s on this one, for sure, based on that mark on the inside. So, but beautifully done. Sorry for the delay on that. You know, I probably lost some people because I probably said the wrong thing, but that's okay, because I just want to always keep it honest and real and cool. This is, oh, it's missing a stone, and I don't know who this is. Looks like Florenza. Yep, there we go. Florenza, right on the inside there. And once you get around these things, you'll know what Florenza looks like. I do probably have that stone. It's Navette shaped. It's very elliptical. So Marquis, Navette, you know, vice versa. It doesn't really matter what you say. But when they're this long, I say Navette. And that's just my personal choice. And I'm going to always go with what I feel comfortable with. Green cabochon glass. So those are all glass stones. But beautiful Florenza. If in good condition, that's around $90 in really good condition. So I need to get that taken care of. I'm glad it's in a bag by itself, because some of this stuff is not. And then this is a gigantic bag of copper. And I don't know if you all want me to go piece by piece, but I'm going to try my best to give you what you came for. This is a copper belt. You know, and I don't like the way that this stuff was stored, but again, wasn't my way of storing it. This is probably Renoir? Yeah, this is probably Renoir, more than likely. And it's either Matisse. It could be Matisse. But beautifully done. Handsome, great finish, nice belt. That's a nice belt. But again, I wouldn't get carried away. And if I got $20 for that, I would sell it in a minute. But that's just me. That's just what I would sell it for. Other people would sell it for more. No, not this guy. This is very Hopi in design. This asymmetrical and almost like a copper overlay. This is a faux copper overlay. See, so this is pushed from a die. So this is not genuine, and this is not Hopi, but it could be from a Native American reservation at the time. And beautifully designed, but again, that would be about, you know, $5 to $10, but that's just me. On the enameled pieces, I go, well, this is nice, and this is nice. Let's see, I'm not a huge fan of copper jewelry. I'm just not. because sometimes it's not very wearable because it does turn people green. And let's be honest with it. Let's just say what it is. Let's get it out there and say sometimes with our acidity in our bodies, oh, these are matching earrings to the pin. If I have the other one, no, of course. Why would I have? Well, this is the matching necklace to, and this is one earring. Oh, here's the other one. Look at me go now. There's the matching earrings and the necklace. So now for that set, for the pin, necklace, and earrings, I'd probably ask $25. So it doesn't really increase it much, but there you go. Because a lot of you have said you would like me to go over values, so that's why I'm doing it. These would be $5. No big deal. They're beautiful, but I don't, you know. And these are signed Renoir and I again, modernist, cool, $5. No big deal. And then these, same thing, same exact thing. These have enamel inset, so I'd probably do 8 on these. But very modern, very 50s, and cool. There's the signature on the clip backs, in case you're not familiar. But yeah, cool, but we see that all the time. At least I see that all the time. This one, same thing. I would do like $10 on a copper necklace like that. But again, that's just me to get it gone and to get it sold. And some of these on eBay, they would probably go for much, much more. But a lot of times, I'm not really worried about what eBay does. I'm worried about what I do. And on my eBay, you'll see, on my eBay page, you will see that most of my things like this are priced really low just to make sure they go pretty quick. These are enamel and beautifully done. So on this one, I would probably do, that clasp needs a little bit of help. So I need to fix that. I just need to rebend that. And this is probably Matisse. I don't know exactly, but I think, oh, it does have the pin. There we go. So now pin and bracelet, I would do the set for like 40, but that's me. Someone else would do it for like 60 or 80, and I just don't think that that's fair. But that's just me. I like to sell these things pretty quick, just because there's so many of them in the world. And desirability isn't really high on copper. This is beautiful. Has the, oh look, has the original hang tag. And this is not, here's the problem. Okay, so this is Matisse, and it's got a Monet hang tag. So that is an old Monet hang tag for $22. And that's not, it doesn't belong on this. And this is Matisse. So there you go. So Matisse and Monet, 2 separate companies. And that's not the right tag for that for sure, 100%. Enamel leaves, and this one's very beautiful, but again, small. I think this one would be slightly more sellable, so that's probably like $24. So there you go on that one. Modernist brooch, it's kind of cool. I'm not really a fan. And then copper leaf necklace, there we go. And copper earrings, those are really handsome, and those are only $5. And then this one, I like this because it lays so flat. It's got great lines. It does have a major issue right there. So the green on there, I want that off. And actually, I'm not, oh, that's just the lacquered surface. So that just came right off because that's just bad lacquer. Because some of these things are lacquered. And it's just bad lacquer. You know, it's no big deal. It's not that it's dirty or gross. It's just that it's bad lacquer and it just needed to be knocked off. So I will polish that a little bit with Simichrome. It's a metal polish, but I like that for a copper necklace. I think that's really, it's high style. That one I'd probably put 25 on. So there you go. So a big bag of copper, but I wanted to show you kind of all inclusive. I'm not known for stuff like that. When I do the shows, I wouldn't bring this to the shows. And please be careful with the enamel stuff, because that is very easy to chip and break. So I will take these out of here, and I will be more careful, but just please be careful with the enamel stuff. So that's that bag, and that was in the stuff, so I had to show you. These are fairly interesting from what I remember. And then there's a whole bunch more in this box, so I'll see how many more I can get through before I completely lose it. This one, prong set. And, oh, it is signed. I didn't think it was. This is, oh, interesting. I've never, well, I take this back. I've had 3 of these. So it's signed down here, Lily Dashay. And Lily Dashay did hats. She was known for hats. So this was probably sold with one of her hats, Lily Dashay. And this needs to be cleaned. It's dirty, it's oily, it's fingerprinted up, but beautiful Austrian crystal. every single one prong set. And look at the tiered design. When you see rhinestone pins that are constructed with this multiple layer, that multiple layer, that was a sign of quality. And Shriner of New York, which I'll get into because I have a large collection of Shriner jewelry, Shriner of New York, their construction was very similar to this, of this tiered, this multiple tier construction, rhodium plated, and then riveted and soldered together from the inside. But look at that profile right there. So there you can see multiple layers. That's a sign of quality. It really is. This was also worn as a pendant on a chain. So this needs to fold down, and I need to, oh, here we go. There. Now, so this lifts up. See how I did that? And then it pushes down to go all the way down, but it's kind of stuck. So I'll fold that down for now to get that out of the way. But great construction, very well constructed. Lily Daché, if it cleans up well, I would say on this one, people will disagree with this, and that's okay. 95 to, well, because it's clear, I'm going to stick at 95. And on a bad day, I would say I would take 65, but that's me. And Lily Daché, not easy to find, but it's rare to find the signature, but that doesn't escalate the value. And some people need to remember that although some signatures are harder to find, it doesn't mean that you go crazy on price. It just doesn't. Because at the end of the day, they're just rhinestones. You know, they're just glass. They're just rhinestones. This one, unsigned, I can attribute it. I'm not going to. I'm going to leave that alone. I could give you a list of who it is. Black stones and clear, that's only $10 to $12. It's not that big of a deal. It's very lovely, and all the stones are there. All are prong set, but it's not a big deal. This one looks like Kramer, you know, Kramer or Weiss in construction. It does have a string tag. Ooh, it does have a string tag that's like, let me get that out of the screen. Yeah, I'd say in the Kramer family of stones, and it does need to be cleaned. And there's one stone that's kind of grayed down. So I'll carefully open up the prongs, and I will put in an old rhinestone out of another brooch and get that out of there. So, oh, and there's another one right here that I don't really like. But some have yellowed, and that's acceptable. But again, this will clean up quite well. I don't usually use, so everybody knows how I clean rhinestones. I'll do a video on it because I do it differently than everybody else. But I don't use a liquid because the liquid then goes, like where these are closed back, the liquid goes behind this and then peels the foil, and then you have more of a problem. A lot of people that clean their rhinestones with Windex in the 80s are now paying the price dearly for what they've done. So I won't go there any further. Open back, Czechoslovakian, and beautiful construction. And these are glass. Sometimes they're plastic, so be careful on that. But these are glass. You can see by the way they push and pull the light. Beautiful Art Deco fur clip. Really, really lovely. That one, because it's red and so beautiful and prong set, I would say I'd probably put that out at about maybe 60, but I'd probably take 45. But that's just me because I really like this one. Streamlined, very cool, very wearable, and very, very large. So a big one and great color. Great flash, so I like that a lot. And then this one, oh yeah, this one's signed Weiss. I hope you can see this. So it's Weiss and it's on an applied tag. There are fake Weiss out there, so just be careful. There were some fake Weiss that were produced in the late 1990s. We've seen them at the antique shows, and I will get into how to identify them, but they're usually oversized. So like if they were to do a replica of this, they were doing it from the photo in a book. So the way they did the replicas, at least in the 90s, they took a photo out of the book, and because the photo in the book of this would be like, you know, like 3 inches across, they would make this the same way 3 inches across. So that's the way sometimes we can tell the fakes. But don't always go by that, because there's some gigantic Weiss that I have that are like, you know, 5 inches across that are real. So I would like to do a separate video on that. This one, Weiss and beautiful stones, pastel, Aurora Borealis, in pretty good condition, all prong set. I would say on that one maybe 35. But I'm moderate on costume just because I like to move it along. I love it, don't get me wrong, but this isn't really what I'm known for. And when I bought this collection, I did see some silver and gold in it, and that's what I was going after. And then these were just kind of secondary. I love the style of this one. So, you know, this is kind of reminiscent of a costume company looking at like Van Cleef and Arpels, like a real sapphire, you know, like 40 carats of sapphire, platinum, and diamond. That's what they were looking at. And then they were simulating that in costume. But they really took great skill and care to pave set those stones. And it's beautifully done. So I really like this one. This one I would stick more on. I said more on. This I would stick slightly higher price on, and it would be, I would probably go with 75 or 85. So, yeah. And then this one, I think, let's wipe these down real quick so you can see it cleaned up. And thanks again for your patience. I know this is a really long video, but if you have to watch it in 2 parts, I forgive you. And if you don't watch it all, I'll be so sad. So please share it out. And this is, let's see, I think Judy Lee. Yeah, this is a Judy Lee. It's not signed. So I'm 99.999% sure that this is a Judy Lee. It's her classic stones. It's her classic styling. And it's a big one. And it's in great shape. I don't see any problems. I don't see any missing stones. And yeah, the color combination, very fall, very, very fall in Ohio. And then that glitziness, almost like ice as well. So late fall in Ohio, this is great. Yeah, and the construction, that's Judy Lee. 100%. That medallion there, not signed, should be signed right here. Judy Lee should be signed right there. It's not. It's Judy Lee. Yep. Now I'm 100% sure. I talked myself through it. So that's Judy Lee. No one would disagree. In the estate sale and estate jewelry business, everyone would say, yes, you're correct, it's Judy Lee. That one, I'm going to be a little staunch on price. I would say 90, just because that it's gigantic and it's in such good condition. So I would say $90. And I do price some things, on how I like them sometimes, but that's my right as a reseller. And I suggest, you kind of do the same thing. So the box is still completely full. I didn't get through even a portion of what I wanted to talk about. Let's just go up. I'm going to do, and then we'll come back for another video because I have 2 more boxes like this. So unfortunately, it's going to be probably a 4-part. Let's do this. I don't know what this is. No, we won't really do the coral. We'll do this, I guess. And then, let's do this just because I want to. And let's do this. And let's do this. There are so many sterling rings in this tray. We'll not worry about this yet. We'll come back to this. And we're going to come back to all this. These are mainly sterling rings in this. And then there's a lot of sterling. This is a beautiful ring. See, I get distracted. Like I shouldn't be pulling this stuff out on this one. But I was trying to stay mainly costume with this video. We'll do this. Okay, let's call it quits on that. Let's say, and let's do this one just because it's costume. All right, let's get this back out of the way. Let's set this down. And then I'm going to call quits for you and get you onto your Mother's Day. This is beautifully done. Yes, there's some foil wear on the rhinestones, and you can't really fix that on this. Like there's some fogging on this one. I highly recommend leaving it alone. You'll do more damage than good. I can show you how to refoil rhinestones, and I probably will. Let's see, this is signed. Oh, it is signed. I think it's signed right there, and it's really small, but I believe that says Capri. Capri was known, and they kind of did things like Art and Company. And very large leaf. If I find the earrings to that, I'd be really happy. Or the necklace, but I think I just have the pin. Very large. So I would say on that one, probably 35. And other people can ask more for sure. But I kind of like to leave room when I sell things, especially like that. Let's look at, this one is very cool. Something's going on with it. Something's not right with this. Here, let me hold it up for you to see. And I like these stones a lot. There's like that foiled gold stone, faux smoky quartz, and faux citrine. Open back set, kind of a beaded chain. Not a big deal, so that's only like $15. But super cool. That might be by Vogue, maybe. If I find it's set like it is. If I find the earrings to that, or the brooch to that, that price will go up. This is butterfly wing jewelry, and I find a lot of it. So I sometimes don't go absolutely nuts about it. But this is, yeah, here we go. Genuine butterfly wing by Hoffman. And Hoffman was one of the major producers of butterfly wing. This is unusual to have like a cactus desert scene. I usually don't like the scenic ones. And then it has the palm tree earrings. So there's the classic butterfly wing with palm tree earrings in sterling. And here's the other one stuck on the back of the necklace. So both earrings are there with the palm trees and the little tropical scene. I really like the scene on this. I think that cactus sunset is very, very out west, very Arizona. It's just, it's out west. It's, and I don't know if you see things like that in Arizona, but that back is, let's see here. That I don't think is sterling. I think that's more in the nickel family. I don't think that that is sterling silver, but it's beautifully done. And then butterfly wing, blue morpho butterfly under that glass and then reverse painted with that scene. I like that. Yeah, that's super cool. So I don't know price on that yet. I'll figure that out just because that scene is so different. And it's very large. It's in really good condition. The earrings, those are sterling. I really wouldn't much care about the earrings, but because they're a little bit harder to wear. But look at that. That's cool. So I would say on that one, it's probably going to be in the vicinity of like 60 bucks just because I think that's cool. So we'll set that out of the way. These earrings are really interesting. And sterling, I think I remember seeing these in the stuff. I think these are sterling. And I'm going to try and put them on the back of my hand. So, nope, not going to work. But these are sterling and carnelian and amethyst. So sterling silver and fully articulated. So this whole thing moves, swings, and sways as they're being worn. Here, I'll lay them on my hand this way. And we're 45 minutes in. And I do like to watch the time on my videos because I don't ever want to go too crazy because I know that a lot of people don't have the time to sit still for that long. I know that I don't. And here I am almost, gonna be an hour in and still sitting here. But I love my time with you guys. I love you ladies. I love you gentlemen. You've made me so incredibly happy with the success of my videos. And I so thank you. You're the only reason why I'm doing these. That's it. And then the next video that I do is going to be the haul from Southern Ohio with me and Jeremy when we went to the antique malls because we found some incredible things. These don't have the backs, but that's no problem. I have tons and tons of sterling backs, but I like these. I really genuinely, down deep, like the design of this. I really like them. I like those. So those are great. I'll probably put those out a local show. And then this is, I don't know who this is, but it's got to be a somebody. Enamel and rhinestone. Oh, great. Oh, and well, it was $275, which it's Kenneth Jay Lane, and it's the old KJL. So there's KJL. Look for that mark. K.J.L. Kenneth Jay Lane is very sought after still, and I can see why. He was one of my most favorite makers of rhinestone jewelry. And there is a little bit of wear on the gold, but they're enamel and rhinestone. And then this magnificent bracelet. This is just absolutely beautiful. That's where the money's at, is in this incredible bracelet. So that's Kenneth Jay Lane. And look at the work and the rhinestones and the quality of the glass and those rhinestone rondelles mixed with turquoise glass, faux emerald glass. And there's the early Kenneth Jay Lane mark. So please look for that. I say, makers don't matter. Well, there's a top 20 that do matter. And that's one of the top 20 that does matter. So KJL. And the early, this is definitely 60s, 60s, 70s, but you can tell. And the Kenneth Jay Lane mark, the new mark, you can tell that it's new, and you can tell when they're old. And this has lost some enamel because there's like some loose, crusty enamel in the bottom of that bag. As I tried to shake it down to show you, there's some loose enamel in that bag. So I will have to go in and touch up some of the enameling on that probably came out of the bracelet. Yeah, it did. Came off the edge of the bracelet, and one stone is missing in the clasp, so that'll be an easy fix. But that's just a beautiful set. Is it worth $275? No. Back in the day when I was dealing in high-end costume, I would have had $250 on this. I wouldn't have had $275 on it, but only $25 different. But I would have had $250 on this, and I probably would have gotten $200. Now, I'm not really sure I could even get maybe like $175 for the set. And maybe not. Maybe I could get to $200 today because of that faux emerald glass. They're really a fan of anything that looks real. And this was going after looking real. This was going after looking like, Webb jewelry or Van Cleef and Arpels. It was going after real. And you can see the quality of the workmanship. So sorry to take so long on that, but Kenneth Jay Lane set, that's great. I did not know it was Kenneth Jay Lane, but you know, does the signature change the desirability? No, not on that, but it made me stop and think because I saw the quality of how beautifully it was put together. So don't judge a piece by its signature always, because then you won't be making as much money. This has paint on the outside of the bag. I hope that's not on the inside. No, it's not. Okay, so an Art Deco necklace that I seemingly really think is cool. And again, these kind of have had their day, and they're still selling, but not for what they used to sell for. Not very much is, but this is a beautiful 3-drop Deco necklace, and it is Czechoslovakian. So please, I wish I could put the loop on this so you can see it, but please look at these flattened down jump rings. It looks like a pattern on there. That's not. That says Czechoslovakia. It says Czechoslovakia right on that little tiny jump ring where the C clasp goes, the thumb clasp goes, and then holds this together. So we'll clasp that for you so you can see that that is signed Czechoslovakia right on that little flattened ring. And I really think this is sweet. It's kind of like a faux carnelian, almost pink glass. And that is really, 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 really cool. Very Deco. So 1920s, 1930s. You know, can we fight over 10 years? Sure, people can do whatever they want. I'm not going to participate. I'm just going to say circa 1920 and be right. And when you say circa, by the way, it gives you a 10-year grace, just so everybody knows. And the vintage and antique thing, oh, it just drives me absolutely crazy. If people, you know, if people were on YouTube, were in the business, like for, like, you know, in the late 90s, like we were like much more staunch and much more sticklers about it back then, but then we realized that it's not a big deal if you call something vintage or antique. It's, you know, to each their own. And if you look up the definition, okay, I'll say it. If you look up the definition of vintage, it just means of a given time period. It doesn't mean it's 50 years old. If you look up the correct definition of vintage, it says of a given time period. So are the 90s vintage? Well, they are now. Technically, they're not 50 years old, but of a given time period. So from 1990 to 2000, that is a vintage. You know, 1990, 2000, that's vintage. 2000 to 2010, that is a vintage. It's a 10-year span. So it's of a given like decade, of a given time period. If you want to get technical and crazy about it, then, you know, then I'm going to have everyone attack me and say, no, you're wrong. Well, no, if you look up the definition of vintage, that's what it is. So everyone needs to settle down. Here I go, being snarky and crazy. But it's truthful, you know, but, you know, back in the day, you know, antique was, it had to be 100 years old, and then vintage had to be 50 years old in terms of the jewelry world, or in terms of, you know, things like a Clouel vase, you know, a Clouel vase that is incredible that I'm going to get into in another video. But this would be, you know, since it's, you know, from the 1920s-ish, it would be, you know, considered vintage up until just recently, and now it's antique, you know, because it's 100 years old. But when antique dealers back in the day talked antique, it had to be 100 years old, and vintage had to be 50 years old. But if you Google the definition of vintage, it's of a given time period. Okay, so enough of a lecture series, but I need to settle everybody down because sometimes I say, you know, vintage things can be from the 2000s because it's a vintage of 2000. And that's specifically talking about wine as well. So we won't get into the, you know, specifics because then everyone fights with each other and it gets really ugly and stupid. So this is sterling silver and really cool. Should have saved this for the next video, but I will throw this back in the bin, and that's just fun. Arts and crafts, deco, very stylized, very simple, but very nice weight on that. Very cool. So we'll set that aside. We'll put this away. We'll put that away. And then we're down to just a few more. And then I will let you go enjoy your Mother's Day. And I so appreciate you all making it through this far in the video. I know it's a lot to ask on Mother's Day, but I actually, this, you know, obviously considered pre-recorded, if you will. So this is an Art Deco necklace, a lariat, so 2 different style length drops. And then this is Art Deco, just kind of needs to be cleaned up. And then this is really interesting for Deco. But again, you know, do I love Art Deco? No, I kind of never really did. I think it's cool. I think it's great. I love to sell it. But you know, I don't know. I just wasn't, you know, we all have things that make us really happy. And Deco was okay. It was just okay to me. And I know there's a lot of people that love it, and I can see why they do. Look at the jeweled clasp on this. And this is definitely Czechoslovakian, and it comes out this way. And then these are glass made to look like carved coral. Some people would say they are carved coral. They are not. They're molded glass. And you can see from behind that those are molded. You can see that this is molded glass. And if it was coral, we would look for the little natural coral, like kind of little openings, if you will, like spores or pore openings, I guess you could say more technically. But look at that for Deco glass. That's really attractive. You know, I don't dislike it. I don't love it. It's not my favorite thing I've ever seen in my entire life, but it's really cool. And I would say on that one, probably, you know, maybe $75. You know, other people would say more, but you know what? Maybe even 65 on that, just because it's great, but, you know, I'd like it to sell fast, and I would like someone to enjoy it rather than just sitting in a Ziploc bag. And then this one needs to be repolished, and the stone is nice, but that's just Deco on a really cool kind of chrome-plated Art Deco chain. So, and that chain is pretty nice. It just needs to be straightened out a little bit. So, and then you just kind of, when you get a kink in a chain, just roll it a little bit, guys. So push it back together and just roll it with your fingers, and it'll come out. And this one already did. So now that's perfect and ready to go, ready to be sold. So that one, not very much money. And this for Deco, it says, absolutely, hello, I'm 100% Deco. I'm not an 80s reproduction. I'm 100% old. I'm circa 1930 on this one. Brass, beautifully done. I really like these beads. Those are pretty interesting, pierce work, and then these floral medallions. That's pretty cool. I think I've been a little tough in this video because I am tired, but that's no excuse for sometimes being snarky. But I hope that you understand that when I say things, I'm trying to be direct, but I'm not trying to ever be difficult, but I am trying to be honest with my videos. This one I would put a little bit more on. Maybe I'd put, there I go, I said more on again. I would put maybe 85. Yeah, I would settle at 85 on this. And if someone offered me 50, I would take it. You know, that's just me. So, and again, I'm going to talk with Jeremy. Oh, and then I have this one. This is Bakelite, and it's cool. You know, some Bakelite, just, again, it kind of doesn't do it for me. But this one, and I'm, you know, known for my Bakelite collection. So, but this one's okay. This is an okay version as I struggle to get it to lay down, to get it in the film for you, to get it on the screen for you. But it's nice. It's carved, and it's supposed to look like carnelian, jade, and onyx, and rock crystal. So there are glass beads in between to synthesize rock crystal. And then these kind of carved medallions or stations. But that's really beautiful. There's nothing taken away from it. It's beautiful, and it's pierced out and carved, and all of that is Bakelite. I don't need to test it, but I can tell by color. Very well done for a Bakelite necklace. That, you know, if I got, again, if I got 75 to 85 for it, I'd be happy. You know, and someone else would sell it for like 150, and that's okay. But I like my resale to go pretty quick. And then, again, I'm going to bring this back for the next video so we can paw through all of this. Most of what's left in this one is sterling, but now I have two other boxes. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let's do these real quick. Let's get all the costume out of this really quick before I say goodbye. And then that way we're kind of left with more. Oh, what is this? We're kind of left with more just, I guess this is the mate to this one, way far away. I never saw that before. Nope, and this is a single Haskell earring. I don't know what this is. We'll fish out all the costume, and then we'll have just silver left for the next time. How about that? Oh, this is costume. This is okay, we'll do this really quick. Okay, and then the rest is sterling. So this is just a chrome Monet necklace. Great Art Deco style chain on this, and really nice pendant, all fingerprinted up, so it needs to be cleaned and wiped down. But that's nice from Monet, very directional. But I would sell that for $10. That's me. You know, someone else maybe $9,000, but no, it would be 10. And this is opal glass. And, you know, people go opalite, opaline. Oh my God, it's crazy. No, don't worry about it. It's just glass. Keep your pants on. It's just glass. And then this is rhinestone and just an adjustable ring, gold plated. So that is, you know, whopping, you know, $10 or $15 because it's fun and it's wearable and it's old. It's from the 50s. And then this is probably Boucher. That's probably a Boucher pin. I'm not going to bother with it, but it's made to look real. So that's probably by Boucher, more than likely. I would probably say that, yeah, it's signed down in here, and it has a serial number on it right here. So that's probably Boucher, and I would say on that one, $50, because it looks real, and all the stones are there. I don't know. Oh, this is broken. So this is broken. So that'll just go into parts. And a single earring, unless I find the other one. And then there is, these are probably Judy Lee, maybe. These look like Judy Lee construction. They're probably signed. Well, they are signed. And I think, yeah, these are Judy Lee. I just go on construction and color. That's Judy Lee signed right there. So those probably match, and they might be uranium. And if they are, that's great. I won't blacklight them because I don't. I just won't. And those are probably $15 or $20 at most. And I probably have the brooch to it. This is thermoplastic. Looks like Celro. But I don't think that this one is by Celro. A lot of attribution to Celro lately that just simply isn't true. So those are thermoplastic. That's late 50s. And to me, it's not Celro. It does not look like that. And Celro is Selro. And this does not have, to me, the quality of Celro. It looks like a reproduction or someone who was making in the style of Celro. And then dog fur all over everything. A single Miriam Haskell earring. Hopefully I find the other one. So that's Miriam Haskell. You can just tell by the pearls and construction. And then these, I don't think, well, I'm not sure on these. Turquoise glass, rhinestone, incredibly well made. And with that border, I have a suspect that I know exactly what designer this is. They are not signed. And let's see here. No, they're not signed, and really well made. I'm not going to go there on Maker just yet. I can bring these back to a next video, but look at the construction on those. So price on these, I would not take any less than $100 or $200, and we'll get into that one in the next video. So that's it. I am going to kind of call it quits for the day. I'm going to put my Bakelite bracelet back on so I can make noise all the way to Cleveland. And I really appreciate your time. Sorry for, well, I regret a little bit of the sloppiness of the video. But, oh, there's other rhinestone stuff in this box. Now I'm getting distracted by other things that I needed to talk about in this video. Oh, no. This is a Whiting and Davis. I know that much. That's a Whiting and Davis. I guess I could... All right, we'll just wait for the next time to